Well, hello there, everyone. How are you doing on this simple Sunday? Sunday, is that the first day of the week? The last day of the week. I know what I've always heard. What do you think? And as always, please feel free to subscribe, like my videos, comment, and try to share something on your favorite social media page. Anyway, with that being said, I want you, yes, you, one finger, you, I want you to take charge of your life. What do I mean by that? Do I mean take charge of your financial life? Yes, I mean that. Do I mean take charge of your healthy life? Yes, I mean that too. So with that being said, before I get started, I'm Mazske Finance coming to you at the moment from South Florida. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a doctor, nutritionist. I'm not a counselor. Nothing like that. I'm just Mazske, the blue collar guy. The guy who never made a lot in his working career, but he is now financially independent. Okay, so with that being said, hopefully you are doing outstanding. I want you to take charge of your life and all aspects of it, okay? Too many Americans, and shall we say too many people around the world, are sheep. They follow, they're followers, they're sheep. If you're watching my channel, I dare say you're not a sheep, okay? But you might not quite be there yet, all the way there, because life is a learning process. We're continually learning. Once you stop learning, you might as well die, okay? So you got to keep learning, always, okay? So when I say take charge of your investing career, what do I mean? It means if you want to invest in the S&P 500, individual stocks, TSPs, thrift saving plans for the military folks, EFTs, etc., etc., etc. You need to take responsibility for it. Don't lean on any other individual. Don't lean on your financial advisor. Don't lean on your buddy. Don't lean on this person. Don't follow mainstream America and say, I'll put all my money in the S&P 500 or the total stock market index, because the experts say you can't beat the market. Baloney. I find it easy to beat the market, but everyone out there says you can't beat the market. All you have to do is take responsibility for your own financial future, your investing future. Learn how to invest. I will give you the simple way that I learned how to do it. I found the Motley Fool, FOOL.com, the Motley Fool, back in 1999. That's where I learned how to buy individual stocks. That's where I learned how to look at some basic information about companies. But more so, I learned how to read what the experts that worked for them would write about companies. And they'd run the numbers. They'd give the highlights. And I learned from it. I took charge of the stocks I bought. I didn't blindly just follow them, okay? I didn't blindly put my money in S&P 500 and just hope that it went up. I took charge. And once I started doing that, it didn't happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. It's a process. But once I got started, and I've said this before, I had an annualized return from the year 2005 to the year 2018 of approximately 18%. 2019 and 2020, I averaged each year 100%. One year was like 110, one year was like 90 or something like that. But it was about 100% each year. I got better as time went on, okay? And I figured out a way to ride certain waves towards the end. But I realized along the way, towards the end, it took me a long time. I'm a slow learner. It took me a long time. But I came to realize real estate can beat stock investing hands down. And yet I said I had an annualized 18% return. Mazske, what are you smoking? I'm not smoking nothing. Okay, real estate can beat stock investing hands down. You get so many benefits of real estate. I am slowly working on my taxes to submit to my CPA. I'm spending hours compiling my information to send to my CPA. Okay, and I'm coming to realize out of all the rent money I make, very little is taxable. Yes, some is taxable, but very little. When you hear other real estate investors say you should pay zero tax on your real estate, I dare say they're not correct. I've been investing in real estate since 2017. A CPA has always done my tax return. And yes, there are houses I have that I pay zero tax. It's a write-off. I'm negative, like, with what I owe. and it's carried over to the next year. But there's other houses. When I buy a house for $30,000, and well, let's say I get a mortgage. Say I buy a house for $45,000 and I get a mortgage on, which is like in the 30s, and the rent is $1,200. All right, sure, I get depreciation to write off, and sure, I write off all my expenses. But if I had the house rehabbed and 3 years ago and nothing's breaking, so I get my taxes, my insurance, my depreciation, I'm making a lot of money, right? I'm not going to get to write all of it off, okay? So if you buy intelligently and buy great cash flowing assets, real estate, yes, you'll probably have to pay some tax. So be it. That's how it is. We have tax laws to follow. But take charge of your investing career. If you want to invest in oil drilling, if you want to invest in mineral rights acreage, take charge, take responsibility for your own life. Don't blindly follow anyone else out there. You may hear Millennial Mike say he has copied and pasted me. He didn't just blindly do that. Okay? He vetted me. He researched me. And he watched and saw what I did. If you watched the video with Financial Firefighter, he had a buddy in Pennsylvania who he kind of copied and pasted and followed what he did. But he vetted him. He learned what he did. He didn't blindly follow him. Okay? Take charge of your financial investing career. It's your responsibility. It's no one else's responsibility. Moving on. Take charge of your own body. Okay? Every single time I walk out my door and go out into public, I see people that are obese. I think back to when I was a kid. I didn't see this many obese people. I saw the occasional fat person back then, but not near as many as now. I was in the supermarket last night, and while the lady in front of me had her the thing all filled up with food, and I was getting all my stuff I was buying was primarily fruits and vegetables, and I didn't buy any meat last night. I didn't buy any nuts. I didn't buy a whole lot, but it was mainly fruits and vegetables, some ginger and some other stuff. But in front of me, she had all kinds of ice cream and cakes and pastries and this and that. But then she was like, "Oh, excuse me, I can't resist that." And there's Oreo cookies up there, right? In that in the checkout row. She grabbed 2 packs and she goes, "It'll go good with my Oreo ice cream." And she had 2 boxes of some kind of popsicles. And she had, I assume, her daughter with her. And they were both, in quotes, obese, like extremely so. And once she paid for her food, she goes, "Can I have that box?" As the cashier ran, scanned it, and she took it. And standing in line, she opened it up, pulled something out, and her daughter said, "Mom, don't eat and drive." And she goes, "Oh, I won't. I'll eat it before I start driving." And I was just thinking, my goodness, what is she doing? How much is she going to drain on our healthcare system that you and I will somehow, due to our health insurance premiums, end up paying for in some fashion? Take charge of your health, okay? We live in a day and age. It's the 21st century. No, it's not. Whatever century we're in. But we have a wealth of information on YouTube and the internet and everywhere else, okay? In the old days, you had to go to a doctor. You still have to go to a doctor, but nowadays, you can watch doctors on the internet. You can read books that doctors have written. You can check out their websites. You can read blogs. You can see 2 doctors talking, discussing something, okay? On and on and on. I've been following kind of sort of 4 different doctors, 5 different doctors, more than that. And I will put links below for 4 different YouTube channels, okay? One of them is a channel of 2 doctors up in Canada, and they both work in a hospital. They're different. One's a surgeon, one's some other kind of doctor. I forget what he is. And they have other guest doctors with them periodically, so it'll be 3 of them. Their channel is called Talking with Docs. They have talked on a variety of topics from the doctor's standpoint to the patient, okay? That's good. I've learned a lot about a lot of stuff, okay? But they got a ton of videos. I haven't watched them all. Don't have time to watch every single video I want to. All right, other doctors I have found. I did a video on Eat to Beat Disease by Dr. William Lee. I watch his videos. He might do short little 1 minute, 2 minute videos sometimes in a grocery store, showing how to buy healthy or showing what he's finding in the produce aisle. He's done 1 or 2 minute videos in an airport store, showing how you can buy healthy in an airport. He's been on a beach in some foreign country where he was talking about the food he was eating before he went out to the beach that will give natural protection from the sun prior to going out on the beach. He's done hour-long videos with another doctor discussing gut health or microbiome health or our angiogenesis, our blood vessels. He's given TED Talks. He's a nationally known speaker. Okay, he's written a book, Eat to Beat Disease. He has another book coming out in about 2 weeks. I won't say the title, but it's about metabolism. Okay, but it's called Eat to Beat Your Diet, but he will say it's not a diet book. It's about your metabolism. All right, how you can tap into it. There's another doctor, Dr. Mark Hyman. Dr. Lee is pretty much primarily 100% about the food we eat and what he calls our 5 health defense systems. Foods that will prevent the majority of diseases out there. Dr. Hyman agrees with the nutritional information of Dr. Lee, but he is more about wanting to live to be 120, 150. So he's very big on nutrition, but he's also very big on lifestyle, minimizing stress, exercising, sleeping correctly, minimizing external factors that can cause issues with your body, and then doing other things that can help extend our life. Then there's Dr. Bulsiewicz, Dr. Will Bulsiewicz. He's a gastroenterologist, okay? I watched a long video with him last night where he was talking to a group of people, and he said something. It's like, man, I wish I had seen him 5, 6, 7 years ago. I could have learned so much. I'll throw out something I learned, okay, that no one ever told me this. I wish I had known it. All my life, I've gone to the doctor once a year, primarily, annual physical. In the Navy in my 20s, it was every 5 years, okay? Police work, it was every year. Had to get a mandatory physical once a year, okay? I was always told, you're healthy. Your blood tests are fine. You're healthy. And so on and so on. But anyway, this doctor was talking about who needs to get an endoscopy. And he said a couple different things. One was like if you get a lot of, acid reflux, heartburn, not just once. Not everybody gets it occasionally. Not just occasionally, but it's getting worse. You need an endoscopy. If you have any trouble swallowing, you need an endoscopy. If I had been told that and I had remembered that, going back, I can remember my first incident probably 10 years ago. I had eaten a lot of food. And my food was, and then I had a lot of ice cream afterwards. And my food was I was in a car too. I had to drive. And it was just extremely, extremely, extremely uncomfortable. And that was my first bad experience with eating in my 40s, I think, early 40s. Okay. But then a couple years later, I was in my house in the Shenandoah Valley. I think I was by myself the very first time because I didn't know what was happening. I was eating and I don't know what I did. I don't know what I ate, how much I ate or what, but I was eating. And as I was eating, I was probably eating fast. And all of a sudden it felt like my food was coming. It's like, what was I choking? What was happening to me? I didn't know. And I stood up and I ended up getting some water to drink and I was like, what happened? But then it never happened again. Not never, but it didn't happen again for a while. And then it happened again. And a couple other times. And I started saying, oh, it's when I eat a lot or I eat fast. And then I came down here to Florida by myself at first. And it didn't happen, I don't think, when I was completely by myself. But then it happened one time I was in a restaurant. What happens in restaurants? They give you more food than you normally eat. And that's where I was like, I got to do something about this. And I had an annual physical and I mentioned something to the doctor because by this time I researched endoscopies. And I told the doctor I want to get an endoscopy. And she said, why? And I said, because sometimes when I swallow, it's like the food's coming back up. And she said, yes, you need an endoscopy. And when I got the endoscopy, he found a couple different things in me. Okay. And people who know me going back in time would all say I ate healthier than them. Okay. Yes, I ate hamburgers. Yes, I ate ribeye steak and sirloin and this and that. And they didn't see me, but I ate a lot of ice cream and a lot of pastries, a lot of cheese danishes, and so on and so on. But I would eat an apple a day. I would eat other fruits and vegetables more so than a lot of people. I would eat a lot of broccoli, a lot of onions, a lot of garlic. Okay, but still, and I was active. I was always thin because the years went on. I gained some pounds, but I was always thin. I lifted weights for many, many, many years. I did cardio for many, many, many years. I did abdominal work many, many, many years. But yet, I still had internal issues, which was related primarily from the food that I ate. Okay? I now know this. I can't turn back the hands of time. I'm trying to help you out. You don't want to experience everything that I have experienced internally. You don't want it. But so many Americans do. So many do. It's unbelievable at times how many do. Okay? So many Americans are on medication. It's something like ages 39 and up. 70% of Americans ages 39 or up are taking at least one prescription. 70% age 39 and up? I got my very first prescription around age 54, and I am in the process now of getting myself off that medication. I don't like it. I don't want to be on medication unless I have to be. I am doing my best to prevent disease. All right, that's my goal. We'll see if I'm successful. You might watch my channel and all of a sudden in a couple years now I'm dying from something. We don't know. We don't know. Okay? But I took charge starting back in my 20s of my financial future. I didn't say that back then. I didn't realize I was doing that back then. And it was a lifelong learning process. Okay? You need to take charge of your own financial future. Okay? It's not that hard. If you invest in the S&P 500 because you say you don't have time to learn anything, but you're a real estate investor, 15 minutes a month can help you to learn how to buy individual stocks. That's it. Sure, you might want a little more time than that, but it doesn't take a lot of time. Same thing as real estate. You can learn your market. You got to do a little digging around. You got to learn how to run numbers and this and that and this and that. And you can go down the rabbit hole watching YouTube University, but you got to learn some basic things, but then you just learn your market. And 15 minutes a day, you look at your market, if that's what you want to do. Same thing with oil drilling or mineral rights investing or investing in wine or investing in crypto or investing in art, whatever. You got to learn it and then just take a little bit of time every day to follow it. Maybe not every day because we're all busy, but pretty much every day. Okay? So anyway, below I will put different links. Okay? I am going to put links for those 4 different YouTube channels for the doctors. I will put links for 5 real estate investing books. I've put them down before. Okay? If you're a real estate investor, there's no reason why you shouldn't read all 5 of those books that I put down or listen to them or get them over time because they cost money to get. But those 4 different doctors, I know you don't have a lot of time to watch all 4 every single day. That's this and that. But check them all out. Dr. Lee, the food doctor, Eat to Beat Disease. He can tell you what a kiwi does when you eat it, what a mango does, what broccoli does, what nuts and seeds and legumes and this and that, what they do to your body. Dr. Bulsiewicz, the gut doctor. He's a gastroenterologist. He's done colonoscopies and endoscopies. He's had real life experience as a doctor treating patients and himself. He was overweight, eating a lot of junk food early on because he did it in medical school and his weight ballooned up. And he says he's lost like 50, 60 pounds. He now exercises and eats. He talks a lot about exercising in eating, eating. He talks about prebiotics and postbiotics and probiotics and that sort of thing and the natural stuff we get from the plants and so on and so on. Then Dr. Hyman is big on nutrition, big on exercise, big on muscle exercise too. He talks about it more so than the other docs. But then he's big on the whole picture of our health and potentially trying to extend it. Okay? All 3 doctors are great to study a bit. They all 3 have written books. I had to think on that. All 3 have written books. Talking with docs two doctors in a hospital, two different types of doctors. One's a surgeon, one's whatever he is. And they're talking on a variety of topics, dealing with bad knees, bad this, colonoscopies, endoscopies, just different hernias, different things, all kinds of different things. Okay? So anyway, this is getting long again, and I got a ton of stuff I need to get done. Y'all have a great day and take charge of your life. And Mazske is signing out.